Hey everybody, welcome back to JT4x4 Off-Roading. Today we've got the 2025 Ford Ranger Raptor. To catch you back up if you haven't been watching the channel or if you're new to subscribing, we had a 23 Colorado Trail Boss built up icons on 35s. We decided to go ahead and trade that in, and we picked up this beautiful marsh gray 2025 Ford Ranger Raptor. This beast is boasting 405 horsepower with 430 foot-pounds of torque right now. And what I'm gonna do for you today is I'm just gonna take you for a walk around of what we got here and just kind of show you the new truck and what we plan on doing with it. Okay guys, so we're gonna be starting with the front, and you've got your iconic Ford logo up there. Right off the bat, you're gonna see you have a front-facing camera. Yes, that is a washer fluid reservoir sprayer right there to spray that camera. When you're coming down here, you do have a full metal skid plate right here, and this unfortunately is plastic. We got your sensors here. You do have your aero shutters and your extra large size intercooler here for the twin scroll turbos. You've got two big tow points right here off the bat, and Ford's really awesome design, the performance LEDs there, those are really nice. They are very bright on the road. And I do have to say, Chevy has a really nice like their design, they killed their design. So when it comes to Ford's design or Chevy's design, I think it's a toss-up, honestly. I don't know which one I prefer, to be honest with you. I really like Ford's look here. I think the stance here is really nice, and you can just tell that this is aggressive, but Chevy's got an aggressive one too. So moving from the Chevy to the Ford, it's gonna be up to you. Drop a comment and let me know which one you like better. So coming over right here, you know, we've got Ford Performance. They list out all of their engine specs. We're running the 3.0 liter. Again, I'll put the stats on the screen, but 405 horse, 430 foot-pounds. You can get the Pro Cal tune for this, warranted by Ford. My dealer assured me, even if you buy an extended service contract, and it's a Ford extended service contract, it'll actually carry on that warranty. Some people say it won't, some people say it will. My dealer said it would, so I guess I'm just gonna go with what they say. Maybe I can get it in writing, you know, just in case. But if you get the Pro Cal tune for this, you bring it up to 455 horsepower and 530 foot-pounds. I believe it's 530 foot-pounds of torque. And that is insane for a mid-size truck, okay? So let me just show you over here. This is what we're working with here. You know, Ford wasn't kind enough to put struts in here, so we've got the stick. That's okay. We are just gonna let it be like that. There are some redline tuning struts that you can actually hook up here. You can see here the turbo hoses, left, right, and these right here, all these little packs right here, wire packs, are for our auxiliary switches that are inside the cab. And of course, you've got your dampening here. And I will add, let me show you something real quick, okay? These are functional. Now you're gonna say, well, how are they functional? Well, underneath here, they actually do vent, but when you put this cover on, this dampening, it covers them up. So they are functional, and it is the same as these vents here. They are functional. It's not readily available here, but it's inside of this panel, and that is all functional, which is really nice because, you know, if they're not functional, kind of like how we got the Jeep over there, they have them, it's also not functional, so you'd have to like cut it out or whatever. But anyways, it's good to know that Ford Performance actually made them functional. Even though you can't readily see through them, they are actually working in our favor. So again, nice here that Ford put their, this sticker has got to give it like 10 horsepower, right? All the stickers do, so they're pretty awesome. So let's just come around the corner here. I'm going to show you some of the suspension. Look at those. Man. That is the Fox live valve shock system. The only thing I don't really like, and they've had issues, look at this tiny little baby tie rod. Like, what? This is gonna have to be beefed up, guys. I love the truck. It is an amazing performer, but we're gonna have to beef that up. That is pretty slow. These lower arms, super, super beefy. Even the upper arms, those are nice. The lightweight, super beefy. But everything else, it looking good. Here, those are all electronically controlled dampeners. You can see the electronics right there. And I can control that all from inside the cab, whether I'm on the trail, I'm dune running, or if I'm just daily driving. Coming over here, you actually have the brand new BF Goodrich KO3s. Really like these Ford rims. They look great. I opted not to get the bead locks. They're an extra $1,100. And, you know, I really never had an issue before with any ever slipping a bead off normal tires, so I'm just not going to worry about it right now. But these are KO3s, 285 70R 17s. Kind of see here, they got their KO3 in each of those. They don't look any different really than my KO2s, but they do perform good. They're quiet on the road, and I'm not going to switch them off right away. Now, if you're wondering, can you put a 35 in this wheel well? You can, but it's going to be close. Here's your crash bars you're going to have to relocate or remove, and you really don't want to remove those. And here's your front crash bar. And I don't know too much yet on how I'm going to lift this Raptor, if I'm going to, or if I'm just going to space it to get some 35s under there, because I'm also not going to put my rooftop tent is for sale currently, because this has coils all around. The Trail Boss had leaf springs and could hold significantly more in the rear, and I would have to replace those springs with a heavier rated spring, maybe some Dobinson springs or something in the rear if I was going to go that route. But I kind of don't know if we're going to actually build this out fully overland or like a hybrid trail vehicle, and then just do some ground camping with like a Gazelle T4 Overland XP or something like that. So anywho, so getting over to the quarter panel here, again, got those KO3s. Those are 33 inches, but really they're 32 and change. These are metal steps essentially. They're kind of nice. They only attach 1, 2, 3 brackets. They are labeled Raptor. I think I will put a pair of rock sliders on there. However, for my Raptor owners or new Raptor owners, you're gonna want to have mud flaps, because if you don't have mud flaps on this, these tires are going to pick everything up and pepper the entire side of the truck. So make sure that you guys get some mud flaps on these before you remove these steps, because these steps actually guard quite a bit about it. There's only 3 brackets though. They're not frame mounted. They're only body mounted, and these will break. These are not rock sliders. You do not want to hit those on rocks. They're not going to support the weight of the vehicle. Okay, so let's move on to the door here where we got the mirrors. I'm probably going to PPF this side of the mirror. These are really nice because these mirrors fold in automatically. I absolutely love that. And the truck has what's called zone lighting. What does that mean? It means that, see that little light bulb there? So when you light this whole truck up at night, it lights up zones. So here, that zones here, and then you've got the lighting in the rear that puts out a zone. So almost like a whole circle around the truck, it lights up, and that is really cool. But back to it, you've got your cameras here, 360 cams, very large mirrors, so it's very easy to see what's behind you, and it's really, really easy to back this baby up. Of course, got to get the American flags on there. They're just magnets, so I can always take them on and off. I am going to ceramic coat this with, I think, some Griot's Garage 3-in-1 ceramic. I've always had really good luck with it, and I think it does a great job. Here you can see this little dimple right here that locks and unlocks the vehicle as long as you have the key with you. I think that's pretty cool. My Chevy Colorado didn't have that. I'm not sure why at a $40,000 truck it doesn't have that. But of course, this is a more expensive truck, so you would imagine you have the unlock button, so you can just use your finger with it. So let's move over here, back to the gas tank. You can just push that, pop it open. It takes 87. You can put whatever you want, you know, go up to 93 if you got the piggy bank for it. All right, so coming back here, these are trailing arm sensors. Right out of the gate, Ford actually left these exposed. Not sure why they did this on this more expensive line of a truck. Those sensors need to be protected, because if you don't, you're going to get different types of errors. Like, I forget what error pops up, but there's going to be an error because what happens is you got rocks that hit it or a branch, it'll unplug it. Not going to stop you from driving, but you don't want that to happen. So I've already got some stuff on pre-order specifically for that. And so what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to cover this just so this doesn't get unplugged there, because you don't want to run into any issues. So when we're coming up under here, you can see that really beautiful, again, Fox Live valve up there. Everything looking good. And then again, paired with that KO3 in the back here with Ford's massive brake rotors. And up under here, you have that nice soft dampening fabric, and it does look good. And if you are going to add 35s, you know, you might have to trim. I really don't want to trim on this truck. It only has 200 miles on it. So I'm going to try to prevent, I'm going to try not to do a whole bunch of that kind of stuff with it right away. But simple mods, aesthetic mods, practical mods, skid plates, covers, trailing arm sensor covers. We are going to bring it to the trail. It actually has some really good approach and departure angles, and I'll tell you what that is in just a minute after we're done with our walk around. But let's keep moving on here. So sweet, got the Raptor decal. And why did they not coat it from the factory? They don't coat it from the factory because they want to make an extra buck on you, because it's $350 from the factory, and your lovely dealers upcharge you double that price. So it's like $600 to get this coated. Luckily, my dealer gave me it as a throw-in item, because I was like, why don't you coat this from the factory? That's silly. What are you all doing? They're really cool. They're like, okay, you're buying a new truck, we're just gonna give it to you. So this goes in Tuesday for a full, I believe it's like a tough liner, or maybe like a Rhino line. It's gonna be professional. It's gonna look really nice. And when you're over here, you have a 400-watt system there, and that's just your standard plug. And I don't know why this one doesn't have a DC plug, considering the other models did, but I'm not complaining. I never had one before, so I just think that's cool. You've got 2 auxiliary switches that run wires to the back here, because I got 6 in the cab. You got 2 that actually run into the back that you can turn on for auxiliary lights or whatever you want to wire up, really. So let's come over here and look at this rear end. This is really where I think this truck super shines, because it just looks so nice. So you've got a true dual exhaust. You've got 4 different exhaust note options for that exhaust. And you've got these heavy duty toe points up here. You've got the trailering package. You've got a full size rear. You've got a Watts link system. And just for you guys that are wondering out there, I am going to surface shield everything under here myself. I think we go up to Michigan, so if you're going into the Rust Belt or anything like that, or you're on the East Coast or West Coast, or you buy saltwater, while your truck is new, get under there and surface shield it. Protect your truck, man. Just protect it. You can get it professionally done, but you also can do it yourself. It's not that hard. Anyways, really love this aesthetic. Some of our first aesthetic mods is I'm going to fill this in with black lettering. What do you all think about putting red lettering in here, or should I just leave it black on black? I'm black on this marsh gray. I do think it looks good. Drop a comment, let me know. And now as we circle around, full LED taillights, which I don't know why my Chevy Colorado never had LED taillights. They don't even have them on the ZR2s, which doesn't make any sense either. But anyways, premium truck, Ford Performance, they did it right. They put full LEDs in here, and I think that looks really good. So that is wrapping up. Actually, it's not. One caveat, the rear window is sliding This is all defrosted as well, and that is also LED up there. And of course, when we go up here, you've got a nice clean roof. You guys can ceramic your own vehicles. I use Griot's Garage, and I've had really good luck at scratch resistance with Griot's versus paying $1,000 for someone to do it for you. Honestly, I might PPF the front of the vehicle and just some of the high rock areas. Not sure yet. I'm not really good at PPF. I can kind of put it on, but not really. But really, really nice. Love the aesthetic of this truck. Now let's go and talk about some approach, departure, and our clearance angles before we jump on the inside of the truck. Okay, y'all, we are talking about approach angle. So from here to here, okay? So the approach on this Ford Ranger Raptor is going to be about 33 degrees. When we're coming out here, our departure is gonna be about 26.4, and we actually have a good amount. The only thing I worry about is this exhaust. So if I'm ever coming, off a rock here, this could be semi-exposed. But let me tell you real quick, there's a really nice mod that can fix that, and it goes here. It is a hitch skid. It drops down a little bit lower, but it prevents you from rubbing and smacking these. And it actually looks like it might. Don't quote me. I don't know if that's what this is for, but if I had to take a guess, it's higher. These sit lower than the exhaust, so that might help prevent that if you're coming off an angle, and that might actually benefit you there as far as having that. And then you have your breakover angle, like when you're on a ramp, and that's 24.2, and then by ground clearance, the stock ground clearance on this truck is going to be 10.7 inches, and that's not terrible. Let me flip my phone out real quick. I'm going to tell you what my Colorado had. I wrote it down. So from the diff to the ground, it was 10 inches. This one from the diff to the ground, it's 9.5. And then from the ground to my Colorado's fenders was 40 inches. Different fenders though, so keep that in mind. And from the ground to the top of these fenders, it's 38 inches. I'm running 32-inch tires. My Colorado was running 33.4-inch tires, so 315s, but they're like 33.4 inches or so. And the only big difference though was from the frame underneath here. So from this part of the frame down, that is 15 inches. On my Colorado, it was 17. So of course the tires really make up that difference. Honestly, this truck would look really nice sitting on a pair of 35s. I think all we need to do is put a spacer in the front and the rear just to clear it, and then figure out what we're gonna do with the crash bars. If you guys are already Raptor owners, let me know. Is that something you can do? Is it difficult? Does it change your ride quality? I don't want to jeopardize the Fox shocks or the suspension, but I would like to clear 35s, and I would like to be able to still travel if I'm cruising and having some fun with it. And I do intend to put the ProCal tune on it eventually, but yeah. So those are some specs for you as it sits. So you all can tell me what you think about it. So let's go ahead and check out the back seat first. Because that's really why we went with this over the Tacoma, and we're going to talk about it in the back. All right, so already messy, already got baby clothes. Really like how these seats indent over here. That is really nice to have this because it gives you more space for your knees. It's funny though that it did not come with a vent in the back. However, it did come with your 400-watt AC, and then of course USB-C and USB outlet. So what I wanted to do though is I want to show you, I am 5'7". This seat is moved all the way back. So when you shut the truck off, it readjusts itself. And my headroom, I'm 5'7", y'all. I'm not that big of a dude. So really I can get whatever truck I want because I'm not really confined to this. But we have a car seat, we have a baby. The car seat fits perfectly fine back here. It's just as big as the Colorado. Yeah, and it's nice back here. I like the door trim on it is nice. You still have that cheap plastic up here by the windows, which I don't know why they put cheap plastic up here and they put the felt up front. I mean, Ford, if we're paying this much for a truck, you should have at least put the felt in the back. It looks like that we have LED, all LED lighting, and of course, I don't know if you can see here, but we do have that center armrest. I can show you here. We do have that center armrest that comes down right here, holds your drinks, and that just clips back up in there. And then of course, you still have that nice leather back here, and it is nice. It is really, really nice. The truck is beautiful. So we were looking at a TRD off-road, okay, Tacoma, right? Everyone's like, you know, Travis, what, you know, Ford has transmission issues. I know, so does Chevy, so does Tacoma, so does everybody, you know. Everyone's got some sort of quirk or an issue, okay? But why didn't we buy a Tacoma? Well, one, the TRD off-road spec, okay, with the IMAX hybrid engine, it was like fully loaded with, and to get the sway bar disconnect package, right? So you got to really be at that top of that trim level, and only a rear locker was, I think it was like $58,900 in my area here in Virginia Beach. Finding one with the sway bar disconnect was very hard, but that really launched that price up. So when you really look at it, you know, we got a lot more bang for our buck, in my opinion. Front and rear lockers, full live valve suspension, 400 plus horsepower, ability to tune to 455 horse. You know, it's got a tried and true engine in it. Yes, I know everything has some problems, but tried and true engine. This thing was launched in Australia, correct me if I'm wrong, 2018-ish. So this has been overseas being tested for years and years and years. And finally in 2024, it came to the United States, or it was like being produced in 2023, those models came in 2024, correct me if I'm wrong. It's had a lot of time to grow, right? The Ranger as a platform, the Ford Ranger Raptor overseas, and finally it was here in the United States for us to take advantage of it. So the reason we didn't go with another truck like that was because wasn't really interested in Nissan. Chevy has the same issues. The Bison is a beautiful truck. The Chevy Bison, if anyone is familiar, comes with 35s right out the gate, fully loaded, ARB, all this really fancy stuff. Same engine, same transmission. So you got all that weight, all those tires, all that bang, but there's no horsepower behind it. And I just couldn't get behind spending $60,000 on a Bison or an AT4X and not have any power, or not have a different power plant or a twin scroll turbo, something. Give us something for the money. I feel like you get a lot here with the Ford. You know, you get the engine, you got the tires, you get the suspension, you get the watt system, you get the actual vents, you get the skid plates underneath. You know, you've got all the tech in this, and the zoning and the LED lighting and the heated seats and steering wheel. I know Chevy has that, but that's my point, is you just got more bang for your buck, and you got live valve exhaust. You can change your notes, change your settings, sport. And this also has a Baja mode, just like theirs does. So I don't know. That is my thought on it. Of course, leave a comment, tell me what you think. But we seriously considered every single truck option out there. Raptor, we looked at the Ford F-150 Raptor, no way. We looked at if we were going to go with a full size, they're just so expensive, and I don't like any of the active fuel management systems on them. So we looked at Nissan, we looked at Tacoma. We kind of pondered getting the Gladiator because of the pricings are really good right now. And we even considered getting the ZR2 and or the Bison again. And you know, after we went and we drove a couple of them, then we went and drove the Raptor. My wife's like, this is it. This is the truck that we want. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking about that. We can go into that a whole nother time of everything like that. So this is just gonna be me walking around kind of giving you my opinion on the truck. I only have had it for a couple days, about a week and 200 miles. So let's jump in the driver's seat, let's turn it on, and let's just kind of, I just want to show you some stuff on the dash. And I'm not even always 100% familiar with it either, so bear with me. and we're just gonna learn together. But I really like the interior, so let's jump inside. All right. Hood ajar. So this is what we're looking at right now. This is our main dash. Really love what they did here with this unit. Buttons are very simple here. A lot of it is touchscreen activated. I don't really mind it. It's not that bad. Heated steering wheel, max AC, and of course right here will be your heated seats. Got them on that side. Park, reverse, neutral drive, manual for the paddy shifters. Transmission's really close together. It takes a little getting used to. Not too bad though, not too shabby. Electronic parking brake. You've got your different modes. What was this? Your parking sensors, sorry, traction control, auto start off, and a really nice and fancy drive mode. So drive mode, you got 4 high trailer, 4 low, 4 auto, and of course trailer, and your trailer braking system here. Really nice. Charging. You got your ports right here under there. Secret, super secret compartment area. And then of course you've got your dash and then a little cubby here. And this is the B&O sound system. You can kind of see it right here, up here. And when you look up here, you got your lights, you got your sliding rear window, and of course, can't go without your glasses holder and your auxiliary switches up here. And you can, of course, do your garage stuff there. Let's look at the steering wheel real quick. You're going to have your speed limiter. You've got your cruise control up, down. This has got adaptive cruise control on it, lane keep assist, volume, talk to the truck. And you've got your different drive, your modes here. So you can have your, how comfortable you want your steering, your shock dampening, exhaust tones and notes, call buttons, menu options, your Raptor button here, which is whatever you preset for the R. You can preset, like let's say you want to do a sport mode and it's something you want to do on the fly. You get mad, you want to really, rage by people in traffic. You can hit your R button and that puts it in Raptor mode. Okay, so that's a preset mode that you decide, and we could say it's sport, sport tune, sport suspension, sport steering, and it'll automatically switch everything into that, and you can freaking shoot off like a bullet, for example. So I think that's pretty cool. And you can reset that and set it different, anything you want. And when you got over here, you got different seats. So that number 1 would be me, 2 would be my wife, 3 would be if we had a third driver. And of course, mirrors fold in right there, up here. And then of course, adjust your mirrors and windows. So standard truck. Seats are really, really comfortable. They're very, very nice. I hate to get them dirty, honestly. But it is what it is. And when we're looking in here, got your change drawer. Don't got no change because I bought a Raptor. And then you got your 12 volt little cubby in there. So, cool. Nothing too fancy there. I'm just going to show you some of the screens that we have real quick. So we're going to go back. So this is your trip and fuel. You got your fuel economy. Take this with a grain of salt. It's only 200 miles on the truck. So 13.7. Auto start stop, typically off, seat belts. Don't worry about that. You're going to back out. My view is whatever view you set it at. You can have this calm screen. If you select the calm screen, it just goes to this. This is what it looks like. And this is how you would drive. So this is like a screen that has not a lot of bells and whistles on it and just lets you drive and do your thing. You can take that out. When we go to off-road mode or off-road screen, you're going to have off-road status. This is going to show you your pitch, roll, wheel direction, and power, like where your power is going, okay? Raptor status, everything's going to go through and do a system check. Everything is on normal. Traction control you can see is off. Pitch and roll right there. You've got your gauges, and you can choose from a ton of different gauges. Look at all these: air, engine oil, air fuel ratio, cylinder head temperature, air inlet temperature. It has all these that you can put in there. I've got it on boost gauge, and then I've got it on oil PSI, which I just haven't changed it yet, y'all. And those are your gauges, and then you got measurements, and these are just your real-time measurement right now: vacuum boost, transmission temperature, engine oil pressure, and then of course if you rev it up, you can see that it actually will change that. So that's really, really cool. It has all those bells and whistles. Okay. Towing is going to be a little different. When you got the towing, trailer information, light status, towing status, it will also remember your trailers. And then you got Ford navigation built in here, phone, audio, and then just general settings. You can have a secondary, turn by turn, and you can configure these gauges here at the top. So let's do like for example, you got oil pressure up there. I could put vacuum and boost up there, which is cool. And then you can add any of those as well that are up there. So if you don't need the oil PSI, then you just keep that off. And then of course, if you want to do, like, say, your right selectable gauges, I've got the transmission temp on there, and I normally will keep that. I'll normally keep boost and oil temp on there. But those are just some quick settings that you got there. And you can go back up now and choose one. I normally keep it just on trip and fuel, just because I'm lame and I want to see what I'm getting. Okay, so when I push this button here, I'm just going to show you real quick. You can choose from normal, sport, Baja, and quiet. And I normally keep it on normal. When I choose this button right here, you're going to have normal, sport, off-road, and for on-road, you just keep it on normal. When I push this button here, this is going to be the steering dampening, normal, comfort, sport, and I normally keep it on normal. Comfort kind of loosens it up and makes it really easy to. Normal is just like a good balance. So it's just kind of a cool balance. So yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go through these real quick just to show you what they are. So you got that right there. So I'm gonna just go over. You've got normal, off-road. You've got Baja, we're not doing that. You've got rock crawl, we're not doing that. And now you can go back over from Baja, off-road, normal, sport. You've got tow haul, and you got slippery, which reduces that stuff. So we're gonna keep it in normal. And we are back to normal. So a lot of options, guys. A lot of options. I have not tried Baja yet because I haven't been up to the trails or anything yet. But anyways, we're going to go into that once I'm able to actually play with it. I just want to show you real quick. So let's go back here and just show you some stuff. You click on vehicle. This gives you a general list of everything you can do here. And so wherever it's, you've got software updates, your connectivity, you can do your wireless hotspot. I get a couple months free of that. Good for me. You got your controls, and auto hold is something like where you come to a stop, it'll hold the truck in place. You can take your foot off the brake. I'm not really interested in that. The cool part here is one of the camera systems. So really, really neat. Probably one of the best in the biz Ford's got here. I click on this truck and I can see all four corners of my vehicle and where I'm at. So it's like a real time. I can see everything. If I'm close to something, can see directly behind me, every corner. If I'm near anything, all the front, I'm just going to show you everything. Shows you where you're tracking, okay? And that one there, cool, right? I think that's really awesome. You can turn your parking sensors on and off. And then let me just go through this real quick. You do have a hitch that directly shows you your hitch. You've got your front. You've got your rear, and that shows you, of course, you can kind of see you got your wheels there. You've got a piece together like a three three screen area. So if you've seen here, this is just your front. This is your big front. It kind of gives you an expanded view. And of course, the same with your rear. And you go back to this one and it gives you your surround vision there. I think that's really, really neat. That's cool. They got a really neat system there. When we come here, you've got just a standard screen and it kind of goes through everything. When you select your zone lighting, I think this is really sweet. I'm gonna have to show you this at night, but what I was talking about in the beginning is you can actually select an area. You turn the zone lighting on and you can select an area to turn on and turn off. You can't obviously see it now, but I will show you that later. So that kind of wraps up the interior, guys. Really, really like this interior. So I'm gonna actually go and do a closeout. I'm gonna show you what it looks like tonight with that zone lighting. And yeah, otherwise I'm gonna kind of give you my final thoughts on the vehicle and what I think about it after I got 237 miles on it. All right, guys, so coming to our conclusion, my wife's conclusion on the Ford Ranger Raptor. So we got 237 miles on it. And I have to say, coming from a Chevy Colorado Trail Boss lifted 30 with 35s, this is way so different. It's a completely different truck. So you're trying to compare like apples to oranges here. So
I've seen some comments that they said that the Trail Boss looks sexier than the Raptor. And I guess it is maybe because how you
set it up.
And I can say that Trail Boss is also a nice looking truck, but the Raptor is also, you know, looks awesome.
Yeah, I would say that the Chevy, let's be honest, Chevy nailed the they nailed the design on their truck. I think Ford has a really great design, and there's a lot of stuff that we can do to this to actually give it that aesthetic appearance that I gave the Chevy. So
but we're gonna wait for that because we wanna think about what stuff we're gonna put in our Raptor. But maybe we will wait for a little while. But now we're gonna show you guys what it looks like, you know, before you buy the Raptor, give you some ideas. And we know that we're getting a new Raptor subscriber now. Thank you guys for subscribing. And we don't know if we're gonna the overlanding stuff.
yeah, so if you haven't watched our channel before, we had our Colorado. You can check out all the videos.
Yeah.
It's set up purely for overlanding, off-roading, and having some fun.
We're still thinking about.
So this is more of like a Baja runner, right? And we're still gonna get it and rip it on the trails. We're just trying to decide what route we're gonna go with it. We'll go with it. So I don't want to put a heavy tent on the coils, unless I get some Dobinson coils like I spoke about before. But when I'm comparing this to the Chevy, it's night and day. This thing has so much more power. It's embarrassing almost to all the other mid-sized trucks, the Tacoma, the Nissan, the Chevy, you name it, the Gladiator. This thing stomps them in every way, shape, and form in performance. Now, going off-road might be a different one. You might have a little more clearance in the Colorado, the way I had it set up, in the ZR2, in the Bison, but let's pump the brakes. The Bison is $60,000.
So the same price with the Raptor.
With a transmission that still has issues. So, but I mean the 10R80s, the Ford does have transmission issues too.
It's not all Chevy though. We have a friend that doesn't have a problem with a Chevy, but it's just it's just one of the trucks
I guess
that we have.
What I'm trying to say is like every brand has their quirks.
Right.
I know Ford has issues with their transmissions too, but you know, you're not going to know until you know. So you may have one and never have an issue.
Exactly.
So I didn't really, that wasn't necessarily why we sold the Chevy. We honestly, I would have kept the Chevy.
We would love to keep it.
We went into the dealer to look. We were still in the market, right? Because I thought the interior of the Chevy was cheap. It was so cheap. I mean, I got out of the door one day. I tried to like close my door, and it felt like.
Did you tell them about
that?
I
felt like the door was gonna it was like coming apart, and I'm like, come on, man. And that's when you were like, okay, let's go look.
Maybe it's because also.
Let's go look at the Ford.
You know, opening and closing it.
No. The doors should not fall apart from opening it. That's the whole purpose of the door.
That's why he asked the dealer, can we bring the truck there?
They're like, yeah, we don't cover, we're not going to cover your door. I'm like, there's only 25,000 miles on this truck. What do you mean you're not going to cover the door?
And then after that, he's like, okay.
We're going to go look this truck. Anyways.
I was really pissed.
So, you know, right place, right time, right deal is why we ended up with the Ford Ranger Raptor. And out of all the brands, I would have come back to this one because again, the Tacoma's too expensive for what the truck is. It's just too expensive. The Chevy Colorado Bison is just too expensive for the same transmission and still an underpowered engine for the platform. Jeep Gladiator, we were going to look at Jeep Gladiators, but you're talking about a even more underpowered unit. So,
the Gladiator?
oh yeah, they're gutless. They're gutless. They're very, very capable off-road.
The Gladiator
They're just very slow.
No, they're going to be like, you're so mean, Travis.
No. Gladiator owners, drop us a comment. Like, is your truck fast? Like, and let's be honest, it's not meant to be fast.
Oh my God.
It's not meant to be fast.
They're good looking.
So anyways, we're ending our...
I bet you if we lift the Raptor, it's going to look really nice. But we're going to wait for that because we also have the Jeep to build.
Yep.
So we're thinking about put the lift in our Jeep because we're going to make more content about Jeep too in our YouTube channel. So that's all for today, guys. Is that all?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're just wrapping up. Okay. Because I don't want to rant on too long, but yeah, we're wrapping up. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something from this video. Stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe. We're really excited to build this truck up and go have some fun with it. And you'll see us on the trail soon.
Thank you guys for watching. See you again next time. Bye, baboo.
See ya.